I guess just this period of time, with school out, how formative of a stretch can that be for your team and maybe a learning process of getting ready for the rest of Big Ten play?
Yeah, I always love this time, and I think our players actually really love this time too, because really all the focus is basketball. So obviously we got back yesterday, practiced in the morning, and then we practiced in the afternoon. So I had 2 yesterday just to kind of get back in it. 2 really good practices, and now 1 more day. I mean, it's such a quick turnaround with how our schedule is this year. I don't necessarily like that. I wish our game was at least the 29th or the 30th, but and then from there we got, after Washington, we have a few days before we play Minnesota, and then obviously the next really month, a lot of time to dedicate towards just basketball and no other distractions. So I'm really excited about it. I think we can make a lot of growth in that time as a team, and individually as well. Just getting in the gym, getting shots up, getting more reps. There's going to be a lot of things we can do just with time.
What have you historically seen as the biggest difference between semester 1 and semester 2 after this period of just like grinding?
Yeah, the non-conference semester 1, it's kind of a different feel. And then, you have, like you said, you have that break now where we don't have school. So by the time we're back in school, we have a good 3 weeks under our belt of Big Ten play. So, and once Big Ten starts, like, it goes by so quickly. It's such a grind. It's such a gauntlet. It's literally day by day. This league, like I say, you can't. You win a game, you can't get too high. You lose a game, you can't get too low. It's just such a grind of a season. So you got to really stay present, and it goes by really quickly. So that's probably the biggest thing. I just think the Big Ten play comes in and it's on and it flies by. So you got to really lock in.
Kendall kind of talked about it, but Oregon, 2,000-point scorers, and then also just 2 bigger, taller players. Just what's the challenge of what they present from both sides of that?
Yeah, number one, they just have really good talent right across the board. There are a lot of new kids, so I think they're still trying to figure themselves out. They play a lot of players. They're very deep, where we're not that deep, right? And they have a 6'8" kid in the middle who's big and could be a dominant low block player. Then they have really good guards surrounding, their big kids. So they present a lot of problems, like every team in this league does.
Sure.
But I just think with them, number one, the size. And then, you gotta try to neutralize Deja Kelly because she just sets the table for so much. And then they have, Peyton Scott. They have, all their guards are 3-level scorers. So then they'll press us a little bit too and throw some different things in, zone us a little bit. So I just think us staying settled in and not getting, so caught up in what are they running, are they man, are they zone. We just got to really be settled, play with a lot of poise against a team like this.
I thought something Barry said just was interesting about how, understanding that failure is part of things, and maybe, how mature of a freshman to understand that, and maybe what's that maybe led to her being as successful as she has coming off an injury.
Yeah, that is. I wish I'm gonna have to listen to her interview because it's true. Failure is part of life, right? And failure is only failure if you don't learn from it. And there's lessons, there's opportunities when you experience adversity or have failure in your life. And we always look at it like, okay, what are you gonna do with it? How are you gonna use it as a positive? And then go on from there. So very mature of her, which doesn't surprise me. It's who she is as a person. It's who she is as a player. Even the adversity she faced in her freshman year with having an injury, literally the day after your first game, and then being out for a few weeks and then coming back and really not missing a beat and it just speaks to, again, her character, her maturity, her mindset, and that's why she's a great player, and she's gonna continue to be an elite player here in her career.
Just Kendall, with what she's been able to do with expanding her game, how have you maybe seen opponents approach her differently now that she's been able to show that sort of side of things?
Well, I think, you got to go out and guard her now, right? So people that's what's, I'm going to be interested in. I think it's going to be a good matchup with her on, their big kid. We're going to try to pull her out and really involve her in a lot of ball screens. And KP's one of our best shooters. I'm going to run stuff for her to get 3-point shots now, and I trust her that much shooting it. So you got to respect her game. She can put it on the floor and drive it. She's just, her versatility. You think about, I know when we got here, the growth and how her game has evolved. It's amazing and it's awesome. Because right now, I said at the beginning of the year, but every time she shoots a 15-foot jump shot, I feel like it's going in.
How do you think she's able to balance everything that she has academically with what she's able to do on the basketball court?
You know, we talk all the time about consistency and being everyday women in our program, and she embodies that. Like, you know what you're going to get from KB every single day. It's what I appreciate most about her. Her consistency, she shows up, she's the same. I mean, she has a lot going on in her life. I mean, she pretty much works a job and then comes here, but you would never know it. And that is such a unbelievable trait and who she is as a person. Is why she's going to be successful in everything that she touches. It's why she's successful as a basketball player. She comes, she puts the work in, she's a great teammate, she's reliable. You know what, again, you know you're going to get every single day. And I could go on and on talking about her and that, because it's so special and it's so unique, and not many people have that nowadays. Like, not many people are that consistent and reliable and that you can just count on.
Do you have any update on Kyra and Gretchen and whether they'll be back? Any update on where their status looks like?
Yeah, it's still kind of day by day with them. Hopefully we can get them back with us day by day.
Have you had them in practice at all, or is it just they've been kind of out,
Yeah, they've been pretty much out. Gretchen's practiced a little bit.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yep.
Home court has been so crucial for this team, not just this season, but last year too. What are these next two games with, fans being out of school, midday games? What does that do for you guys?
Yeah, home court, I told these guys, I've said it now this whole year, home court is gold. Like, you have to take advantage of it. In this league, home court is absolutely, it's huge. So these next two games in this homestand, it's going to be really, really important to get as many as you can at home and protect it. It'll be a little bit different, obviously, these next few games with kids not being here. New Year's Eve day game is noon. We have the football game, the bowl game. I don't know how that'll impact our crowd, but hopefully we can get a really good crowd against Oregon. It's a Saturday game. Great time to come out and see this team, see a really good Oregon team as well. It's Big Ten play now, so hopefully the community will come out and continue to support this team and these young women. And I think if they've never come to a game before, I think they'll really enjoy it and have fun and have fun with the brand of basketball that we play.
Is Oregon similar to any of the teams you play in the non-conference that you can maybe draw a comparison to, or when you look at scouting them?
It's a good question. Probably, actually, now that I haven't thought about that, but I would say maybe a Kentucky they have really good guard play and facilitating, able to score, and then bigs. Now their bigs are different because their bigs they're very finesse and could really score, where their big kid from Oregon is more just pounded in. But I would just say, in terms of scoring ability inside, scoring ability outside, defensive schemes, probably more of them. Otherwise, I would probably say that's the closest.
Gotcha. Thank you, Shauna.
No, thank you guys.
Okay.
Appreciate